Hello YouTube, how are we all doing today? It is Cheeky Creations here and I've got another ranking video for you today. This time we're going to be ranking all the Terminator movies, ranked from worst to best. Let's begin. At the bottom is Terminator Genisys. Honestly, I hated Terminator Genisys. It's one of my most hated films of all time. It took everything I loved about all the previous Terminator films before it, from 1 all the way to Salvation, and just ruined it. So yeah, there's nothing more left to say about the film. I thought it was just a mess and just a remake of the first two films. I don't even know how to describe Terminator Genisys, but yeah, that's the bottom of the list for me. Following Terminator Genisys, I'm going to say Terminator Dark Fate. It's a tie between Terminator Dark Fate or Terminator 3, but I'm going to have to say Terminator Dark Fate was slightly worse than Terminator 3, purely because I think, as you know, I don't like retconning. I hate it when the franchises retcon and try to change plots. The big Terminator films were supposed to be about the Terminator coming to kill the future Resistance leader, John Connor, and John Connor becomes the Resistance leader. Terminator Dark Fate just ripped that all away, but it wasn't as bad as Genisys. I think it did kind of stay true to the first 3 Terminator films and had quite a simple plot, so I'd kind of give it points there, but still not my favourite. Following that is Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines. You know, Terminator Rise of the Machines, when I think about all the films that followed it afterwards, it actually wasn't that bad. I think it did an okay job at keeping true to the series, whilst also trying to make the antagonist quite new. I like the TX model. I thought the TX model was very well advanced, and it definitely gave Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator a run for its money. I did like seeing an adult John Connor, because in the second Terminator film, he was a kid. But yeah, I do think Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines was middle tier, but still decent watch. I'd watch it if a friend was loading it up. Following that is Terminator Salvation. I actually thought Terminator Salvation was a very underrated film. It was the first Terminator film to have John Connor as the leader of the Resistance and have the Resistance fighting the Terminators after Judgment Day. And Christian Bale did a very good job as John Connor. Christian Bale is one of my favourite actors of all time. And Sam Worthington was a good Terminator as well. But yeah, Terminator Salvation, I did quite like that one, even though it's not as good as the other two, which I'm going to talk about next. Following that is the first Terminator film. When I watched the first Terminator film, I enjoyed it a lot, purely because it had just such a simple plot to it as compared to all these other films these days. They've got all these characters you need to follow, all these complicated sub-stories, subplots and whatever, whereas this film had a very simple plot. Terminator came back from the future to hunt down the mother of the future Resistance leader, and then a soldier from the future is sent to protect the mother of the Resistance leader and kill the Terminator, which engaged in a great cat and mouse chase. Alongside that, it had some very good memorable action scenes and just quite simple. It was a very simple action movie. So yeah, Terminator 1 is second on my list. And finally, my favourite one of all time, Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I love Terminator 2 Judgment Day. It was such a step up from its predecessor. I love seeing Sarah Connor, John Connor together with the film. It was good seeing Arnold Schwarzenegger as a good guy. And the T-1000 model was a menace. And he was a very terrifying villain. There was a lot of like, how do you beat him? He was tougher than the previous antagonist from the first film. So yeah, I definitely think Terminator 2 Judgment Day is the best film of the series because of how it managed to take a step up from the predecessor instead of just copying the same film, which a lot of films do, or sometimes they try to focus on going too big to the point that they lose sight to what made them good in the first place. But yeah, this is the end of this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for future videos. Thank you. Now, goodbye.